Thank you, Your Worship, and members of council. We wanted to focus mainly on the phase development agreement and the questions I have to ask tonight. One is the phase development agreement an essential component of Neighborhood 1 plan for the Silverdale area? Is it the phase development agreement, is that an essential component of Neighborhood 1 plan?
The phase development agreement is authorized by legislation, and it's a way of securing zoning for a property when a developer has to put major dollars into infrastructure and services, so that they can have some assurity that they'll have zoning for a period of time. And under a phase development agreement, under the legislation, you're allowed to secure that zoning for a period of time. And you're also allowed to put the appropriate amenities that are agreed upon within that phase development agreement.
So it's part of the...
So it is a... you could be brief, I don't, because most of these questions might require just a yes or no.
Oh, okay.
The second part of that is...
Mr. Mayor, can I answer?
Yes.
Rup, I appreciate you wanted this to be brief, but I will say one thing in addition to your first question. Ultimately, that's a political decision, though. If individual councillors wanted to vote in favor of rezoning, but not neighborhood plan or not the PDA, they could do that. I don't think very likely most would, but technically they are not tied to each other in any legal way. We could, if we wanted to, vote for rezoning without voting for the PDA.
In essence, I guess one could do that, but the developers may not want to spend that kind of money on infrastructure.
Practically it may not happen, but just from a clarity perspective, it's not legally required.
So the sub-part of that is, can the plan for Neighborhood 1, when approved, go ahead without the PDA? No. That's good.
I don't think I would even commit to that.
It's a political decision.
Well,
not legal binding.
yeah, but we would also lose our assurance of all the amenities they
Councillor
committed to giving us.
Councillor Stevens, the answer is no.
Yeah.
In my view, no.
No, it don't. Okay. So has NPAC been involved in any way in looking at, I'm not suggesting that they should have been involved in helping to draft or develop the the phase development agreement.
No.
But they have not been involved in even looking at that.
No.
Why?
Because that's an administrative, it wasn't a planning agency, it's all policy development.
How could, in your rational thinking, how could a neighborhood planning advisory committee submit to you, council, a plan that they are recommending for approval when you just told me that that plan depends significantly on a phase development agreement? My view of that then is that a plan has been submitted in the absence of very important information.
Well, I understand your perspective, Mr. Silverdale. I understand your perspective. There was a terms of reference that we gave to the NPAC, and they fulfilled their terms of reference. It's the responsibility of this council, an elected council, to work on behalf of the community to understand that they did a very good job in producing the plan,
yes,
which was the exercise we gave them and the mandate we gave them.
yes.
But now this council was involved in determining the...
Your worship, that does not answer my question.
Well,
You have told me, the cover that is at the start of supporting it.
you made a statement and I'm giving you, you may not disagree with it. You may not agree with it.
I'm saying it does not answer my question.
I'm sorry that it doesn't.
I'll go ahead.
Yes, Councillor.
I'd like to try, because I think this can be resolved and understood. MPAC, with community input, helped in the creation of a plan, which was brought to Council. Council then had to negotiate with the developers in order to create a document, a contract, which would, in the opinion of the council and the developer, create a fair balance between giving them the assurance they needed in order to implement that plan, and the assurance council needed that the community would benefit by the number of contributions towards the community that the developers would make in order to implement that plan. So one was a plan that was created, planned and discussed, as you know, for many months. Having been brought to council, we all said, right, okay, this is the plan presented to us by the community. You turn around to the developer and you say, now, how can this be implemented? And then you come up, as has been pointed out, with $80 million worth of infrastructure going in. They need some assurance. And on our side, we wanted to make sure that we got some things to the community that we wanted the developer to pay for. So one is a financial contract, which helps to get the plan implemented. Does that help?
No, it doesn't.
So in that case, I give up.
With respect, it
In that case, I
doesn't
really do give up, because I thought I'd
With
been
respect, it
clear.
doesn't help.
Okay, thank you.
I really
I had
thought
Councillor Horn there next.
Well, in a nutshell, the Neighborhood Plan Advisory Committee was asked to tell us what Neighborhood 1 should look like, and the PDA is how we're going to pay for it.
Exactly.
And so,
what I thought
at
you just said.
the end of the day, it will be up to every member of the committee to, or of the community, I should say, including members of NPAC, to speak to that at a public hearing and say whether or not they think it's been approximated. But basically, council went with that plan in hand and said, how are you going to pay for this to the proponents? So I think you can't have a group of, at the end, I think there were 16 or 17 people on that table being negotiating on behalf of the out district. So the PDA just represents the pragmatics of how you're going to pay for what the NPAC asked for.
And that was, it really told us that the developer needs to pay. Anyways,
Yeah.